In the previous video, we studied the vector space structure of Rn. As discussed in the introductory video, this structure is not enough to study limits and continuity. To study these ideas, we need some additional structure on Rn. Recall that a sequence of points xn converge to a point x if the elements xn became closer and closer to the point x. So, to discuss limits, we need to have some notion of proximity. To talk about proximity, the most natural way is to define a distance. If we have a distance, then we can talk when two elements are close to each other. In the set of real numbers, we had such a distance. This was given by absolute value. We said that the distance between 2 points or two real numbers x and y is equal to modulus of x minus y. Now we want to define a similar structure on Rn, and for this we will use the familiar Pythagoras theorem. Pythagoras theorem, as we all know, talks about right-angled triangles. More precisely, if you have a right-angled triangle with sides A, B and C, then Pythagoras theorem says that c square is equal to a square plus b square. Or it is sometimes stated as the square of the hypotenuse is equal to the sum of the square of the other two sides. This idea can be used to find out the length of vectors in R2. Notice that if you are given any point x, y in R2, you can drop a perpendicular to the x-axis. Then the triangle formed is right-angled. Further notice that this length is x and this length is y. Therefore, by Pythagoras theorem, this length is equal to root of x square plus y square. Thus, Pythagoras theorem allows us to find the length of vector, or in some sense magnitude of vector. More precisely, the magnitude of the vector x, y is equal to square root of x square plus y square. This quantity is called the norm of the vector x, y, and it allows us to talk about distance between 2 points in R2. Let the 2 points be x1, y1 and x2, y2. Then the distance between these 2 points is nothing but the norm of x1, y1 minus x2, y2. This you can check is equal to square root of x1 minus x2 the whole square plus y1 minus y2 the whole square. Of course, many of you would be already familiar with this distance, and this distance is called the Euclidean distance. We can similarly define a norm on R3. More precisely, given a point x, y, z, we are interested in the length of the line that joins x, y, z to the origin. To find the length of this line, we will first project this point to the xy plane. When you project to the xy plane, you get the point x, y, 0. And we can do further projections to the x-axis and the y-axis. Notice that if you draw this line, then this line is perpendicular to this line. Why? Because this line is perpendicular to the entire xy plane and this line lies on the xy plane. So, if we first apply Pythagoras theorem to this right angle triangle, then you get that this length is equal to square root of x square plus y square. Further, we also know that the length of this side is equal to z. Therefore, by applying Pythagoras theorem to this right angle triangle, we get that the length of this side is equal to square root of x square plus y square the whole square plus z square. In other words, the length of the vector x comma y comma z is equal to square root of x square plus y square the whole square plus z square, which is equal to square root of x square plus y square plus z square. Also, this gives us an idea of how to define norm on Rn. Consider Rn minus 1, and if to that you add the xn axis, you will get Rn. Correct? So if you consider now a point x1 comma x2 comma etc up to xn, then we can first project this point to Rn minus 1. When you project it to Rn minus 1, you get the point x1 comma x2 comma etc up to xn minus 1 comma 0. Thus, it is enough to find the length of this side. Once we find the length of this side, then we can apply Pythagoras theorem on this right angle triangle. But the length of this side is already known because we have understood norm on Rn minus 1. More precisely, we are saying that the norm of x1, x2, etc. up to xn is equal to square root of norm of x1, x2, x3, etc. up to xn minus 1, comma 0, the whole square plus xn squared. But the norm of x1, x2, x3, etc. up to xn minus 1, comma 0 should be equal to norm of x1, x2, x3, etc. up to xn minus 1 in Rn minus 1. Therefore, I can rewrite this as follows. And we are assuming that we have already determined what norm is in Rn minus 1. And in Rn minus 1, we are saying by induction that it should be equal to square root of x1 square plus x2 square plus etc. up to xn minus 1 squared. By applying this induction hypothesis, we can prove that the norm on Rn is equal to x1 square plus x2 square plus etc. up to xn square. This analysis has allowed us to define norm on Rn, and this will be extremely important for us. Now that we have defined a norm on Rn, we can use this norm to define the distance between 2 points in Rn. Let the 2 points be x1, x2, etc. up to xn and y1, y2, etc. up to yn. Then the distance between these 2 points is equal to norm of x1, etc. up to xn minus y1, etc. up to yn. This, as before, can be evaluated to square root of x1 minus y1 the whole square plus x2 minus y2 the whole square plus etc. up to xn minus yn the whole square. And this is the Euclidean distance on Rn. it is not enough to just define something like this. We need to show that it satisfies some nice conditions. And only when it satisfies some nice conditions, it will be called a distance. The most important of these conditions is the triangle inequality. As you have seen in the course on analysis, the triangle inequality is crucial in many results. Thus, we will need to prove that the distance we have defined satisfies the triangle inequality. But we will see that in a later video.